Hi, we are here at the Selling Power Sales Leadership Conference with Sharon Daniels, and she is the President and CEO of Achieve Global.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So what should sales managers think about when they develop an excellent sales force?
Well, I think the first part that's so critical is getting the right sales managers and making certain that the organization has supported them in what they really need them to do. And what we found at Achieve Global is the coaching element of their role is so critical now, because organizations have a lot of things that are changing in their environment, and they need to make sure that the manager is coaching the salespeople to do and perform in ways with the customer that the optimal amount of revenue is brought into the organization and the customer's needs are met. And so I think as they work through that, is the organization really has to think about that role very critically so that you can get that optimal performance.
So can you define in 3 bullet points the coaching areas that sales managers should focus on?
Yes, coaching is, and we talk about 3 roles of sales managers: a strategist, a coach, and a communicator. And then drilling down on the coach part of it, you know, the ability to meet with an individual sales performer and talk about there's the performance coaching. How's your pipeline going? You know, what opportunities do you have there? How can I help you? But also being able to identify as a second thing the skills that they may be lacking or not be as strong at. So it might be the prospecting piece of it. It might be matching resources in the organization that they're not good at. So that would be the second thing. And then the third thing I think would be giving them feedback and riding along with them. So it's real-time development of the individual, where you pull the performance coaching together, the actual development in a way that helps them.
A lot of sales managers misunderstand the role of a coach, and they think it's like being a director and giving directives.
Yes. And I think that's a common misperception, especially when you haven't matched up the expectations of the sales manager. So some people mean coach standing over there almost like a cheerleader, you know, telling them, oh, you'll be great, rather than thinking about the actual developmental needs that the individual has. And that, I think, is something that the organization has to make certain that the investment is there with as much with the individual salesperson and the skills as it is with the coach and what they need to develop.
So let me play the role of a salesperson, and you're my manager.
Okay.
And I have some problems with being more creative with my clients. How would you tell me?
Well, I think I would break it down by asking you to give me one example. So you might share with me a particular customer that you're just not being able to move the sales cycle along with. And so, you know, some organizations call this, you know, kind of a mini turbo session where we talk about that and we brainstorm together. And oftentimes, a good sales manager will invite another person in to say, let's talk about a particular opportunity. And so that it's actually precise and very focused on one opportunity, so that I can give you feedback about how you did those things, as well as you can see some progress in your own work.
So in other words, what you would do with me is to make me aware that there are more ideas out there.
Yes.
And I need to expand the range of possibilities.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how do you deal with a salesperson when there are some personal problems involved? Let's say the young salesperson doesn't know how to manage his or her finances, or to keep up with mortgage payments. Mm-hmm. How do you coach somebody?
Well, I think there are a lot of things out there that you can help with. A lot of organizations have employee assistance programs. I think what a sales manager has to do is know what they're best at and when they need to pull in other resources. So often human resources has, executive programs that they can tap into, or employee assistance programs that they can get. And I think it's important for the sales manager to identify what's getting in the way of progress, but they don't absolutely always have to be the experts at solving all the problems.
The way I understand it, a coach is really somebody who helps the salesperson collaborate more effectively with their own resources.
Yes.
So how do you engage that salesperson? How do you sort of sell the salesperson on that process so they don't resist?
Well, I think part of it is exactly right. Being able to engage the right resources in an organization is critical, and a sales manager plays such a key role in that, because they are trying to orchestrate all the support of the rest of the organization. And we find that for some people that comes very naturally as a salesperson. They know how much they need that, and they do that. For others, that collaboration skill, that ability to communicate, doesn't come as natural. And so as you set down expectations about what you want a salesperson to do, it's a great time to talk about, here's some ways that others have effectively engage the organization, and I'd like to work with you and sit in on a meeting or a call that you're having for a particular customer need, and make certain that you get what you need out of that to deliver to the customer.
So how do you help sales managers to become better process coaches without being overbearing?
great question. And some of the things that we've talked about even here at the conference today is some people just like to be left alone. And today we talked about the difference in playing chess and checkers. And I think when you think about individual salespeople, you have to drill down to what does that individual need. And for sometimes individual situations, you have to be able to get down and understand what their particular needs are and work on that. And that to me is chess. You're playing to the strengths of the individual. And so as an organization, we help sales managers get a lot better at understanding their sales process, their engagement rules, and then the competencies that they need to engage with them.
So what is more important in general, process or skills?
Wow. I don't think you can say either one. I think they are so intricately linked that the best performing sales managers have a balance of both and know with any particular salesperson which they need to engage more in. Some may be particularly strong with the skills but not so great with the process. And so they, again, have to vary the treatment, play chess, but not checkers.